I know we like to look at the finer details of a galaxy far, far away here, but how about some details that didn't quite make it?
Did I say anything?
He's trying.
I didn't say anything.
Let's check out unused concept art and story ideas for Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Welcome back to Star Wars Sublight. Today, come with me as we dive into the archives and re-emerge with the art of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, written by the great, late J.W. Rinzler. Let's start at the beginning with the battle above Coruscant. These early concepts from Ryan Church and Eric Tiemens show the battle above Coruscant up close like never before, with General Grievous's forces in atmosphere above the heart of the Galactic Republic. And while the now iconic opening of Episode 3 shows just how far the war has spread, there's certainly something to be said about the powerful imagery of capital ships crumbling amongst Coruscant's skyline. What I love about this unused concept art is that it just shows the scale of these massive capital ships, and the fact that they still look absolutely massive compared to the skyscrapers of Coruscant. Cruisers and frigates from both the Separatist and Republic fleet rain down on the surface, potentially piercing several levels below.
Another happy landing.
With these pieces of concept art, Tiemens and Church really communicate the scale of this massive war, including just how far we've come from the initial skirmish on the Outer Rim. Speaking of, take a look at the concept art of a few Jedi Masters, the galaxy's peacekeepers who are left with no option but to lead the Republic's forces in war. Ki-Adi-Mundi is sporting an eye patch, while Master Plo Koon has taken his elegant weapon and created a rather crude tool, now mounted to his wrist. If you look closely in the corner here, you'll also see Eeth Koth has been blinded at some point during the Clone Wars. Several of the gallant knights we're used to seeing have been shaped into rugged warriors by the conflict. And what I love about this page of concept art in particular is it shows our metropolitan monks have allowed themselves to be bogged down by a galactic civil war, so much so that they've strayed from the light and paved the way for their own destruction. Next up, I want to talk about an extension to a scene that made it into the film, Obi-Wan getting 66'd on Utapau. There's concept artwork depicting a scene that would have taken place just after Commander Cody got the order to eliminate his Jedi General. Like we see in the final cut, Obi-Wan would have been blasted from the cliffside, landing in a shallow pool amongst the caves. But it's here in the dark depths of Utapau that things could have played out much differently for Obi-Wan. It's here that Obi-Wan was supposed to see his first vision of Qui-Gon Jinn, his former master, slayed more than 10 years ago. In this concept art, Qui-Gon Jinn looms large over Obi-Wan Kenobi in a pose reminiscent of the first time Ben Kenobi appeared to Luke Skywalker on Hoth. While it would have been mind-blowing to see this Jedi Master appear in Obi-Wan's time of need, I can appreciate that things needed to take a hopelessly dark turn at this point in the film. And while Obi-Wan does eventually find out that Qui-Gon's learned to communicate from beyond the nether realm of the Force, the scene no doubt would have been pretty cool to see. While we're on the topic of things that almost happened during Order 66, take a look at this image of Yoda by art director Aaron McBride. Following the tragedy of Order 66, Yoda would flee to a lakeside village on Kashyyyk where he'd dress as a hermit. When confronted by clones, Yoda was supposed to feign insanity while using the Force to misdirect them. This concept would have been a really neat reference to Empire Strikes Back when Luke first meets Yoda and dismisses him as a swamp-dwelling busybody.
Right.
Next up, a quick stopover at Naboo, and some revealing concept art of Padme's funeral procession with ties to the Jedi. Art by Tiemens shows Padme arriving to her final resting place by boat, and smoke rising from the island as she's burned on a funeral pyre. These pieces of concept art show that during the creative process, the team was paying specific attention to Return of the Jedi, and the ultimate fate of Anakin Skywalker. Tiemens, through these pieces of concept art, is joining Padme to Anakin in death. So what can we learn about the most iconic location in Revenge of the Sith, the lava planet Mustafar, including the ultimate altercation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader? While the concept team really let their imagination run wild for the choreography of this fight, with concept art ranging from the epic to the bizarre. Take for example the emergence of this Mustafarian monster, which would have been awakened during Anakin and Obi-Wan's duel, and forced them to work together to defeat it. It really is bittersweet that this idea didn't make it into the final cut of the film. It would have shown at this point, while these two are tragically ideologically opposed, they are still capable of setting aside their differences in the face of a common enemy. And let's go even deeper, right? There is a metaphor in this scene. We have Anakin and Obi-Wan duking it out for the fate of the galaxy, while being stalked and preyed upon by a monster. And if only it was so simple to identify the Phantom Menace, then it is a gigantic Mustafarian monster. So yeah, cool action sequence aside, I think this could have made it into the final film, and left us with even more to discuss years later. While talking about action pieces, check out this keyframe from concept artist Derek Thompson showing Darth Vader using the elements against Obi-Wan. We've seen Darth Vader use his surroundings in combat before. And it would have been interesting to see the VFX around Obi-Wan defending himself. One of the most out there pieces of concept art for Mustafar involves Darth Vader arriving on the planet to find the locals worshipping some sort of mechanical Hydra. Upon seeing Vader's cybernetic arm, the locals revere him as some sort of god. As crazy as this piece is, it's interesting to consider the idea that Darth Vader got a taste of power very early on, further cementing the idea in Anakin's mind that the dark path he started on will eventually give him the power he needs to save his wife. The Jedi aren't usually exposed to this sort of reverence, and to someone who's just started dabbling in the dark side, this sort of attention could be intoxicating.
Just being around her again is intoxicating.
Another piece from Mustafar has Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fighting in what looks like a reactor. And to me there's a certain parallel between this image and the fight in a similar reactor on Naboo during Episode 1. Affectionately referred to by fans as the Duel of the Fates, where depending on who you ask, Qui-Gon Jinn gave his life fighting for the soul of Anakin Skywalker. So to bring the battle for Anakin Skywalker's soul back to where it began, at least metaphorically, would have been a neat little inclusion to the mythos. As fans, it's always interesting to wonder what if, and to get a glimpse of the creative process involved when tying together not only the prequel trilogy but the Skywalker saga as a whole. If you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps. The conversation doesn't have to stop here. Why not jump down in the comments and let me know what your favorite piece of concept art is. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.